Hi guys, so I've titled this video 5 Secrets to Find Happiness. And I wouldn't be speaking on this if I didn't personally have the happiness that I'll be talking about. So what I mean by happiness is not what a lot of people describe happiness as being, just a fleeting feeling of just goodness, I guess. But for me, happiness means kind of a foundation of hope and joy underneath everything, because you can't control your circumstances and you can't control when good or bad things happen. So I'm going to start by listing off a few of the things that I think will help you reach that joy that you want. So the first one is, at least for someone like me who feels unsettled when conflicts aren't settled, the first step for me is to identify any relationships that have conflicts and if there's anything you can do to help bring that back to a better place. A lot of times people will just stay in a place of conflict, and that can cause anxieties that you might not necessarily know why they're there, and it can trace back to that thing. So I guess the first step is just anything that you have to apologize for, explain, or talk about, you gotta try and do that. Because while you can't control others people's actions, you can control yours, and you really need to do that to start off. After resolving conflicts that you can resolve, the next step in my mind to finding that joy is to serve others. So for me, that really is just turning the attention out from yourself and focusing it on others. It's kind of backwards logic to think, well, if I stop paying attention to myself, I'll probably be happier. But honestly, it's true. Like, while you do need to address things in yourself, you also find so much fulfillment and joy and happiness from giving to others and serving others, or giving money or your service or time or emotional investment. If you have the ability to pour into others, it blesses you immeasurably. Also kind of tied into that is complimenting others. We all think so much, but we don't say the good stuff. So if you notice something nice about someone, or especially us ladies, we don't tend to compliment each other very often, or we don't tend to even know how to accept compliments, but if you notice something about someone that you like or you appreciate, you should just say it, whether it's about their appearance or their intellect or anything. I just think we don't do that enough. And imagine, like, the one or two times someone just came up to you and gave you a compliment. How did that make you feel? It brightened your day. But little do you know, the person giving the compliment is blessed even more than the person receiving. The next thing that I think is important to find contentment and happiness is to discover your passions. I think in today's system, we're not encouraged to find our passions at a young age, and instead are focusing on other things like specific requirements for school and just getting to college, but we aren't as in touch with who we are and what we're made to do. So, I mean, one of my passions is music, and I know that because I was able to discover that at a young age. And because I know those deep passions within me and I practice them regularly, I find so much joy and fulfillment from that. And I always have that to fall back onto in a bad day. So the next, and probably one of the most important things to find peace and joy, is gratitude. So gratitude is a game changer. It is so powerful. If you start every morning thinking, wow, yesterday, what was good that happened to me? What was something positive about yesterday? Instead of dwelling on the bad things that happened, imagine how that would set the tone for your day. Like, sometimes you have to dwell in feelings of sorrow or frustration for a moment, but the key is to not dwell there for too long. You have to kind of be there, process it, and move on. And gratitude really helps bring you back to the positives and to really appreciate the things you have before they're gone. Gratitude is a game changer. So the last and actually the most important one for me is to realize that your circumstances actually don't have any power over you. So, like I said early at the beginning of the video, you can control everything that you do, but you can't control anything that anyone else does, or you can't control circumstances. You can't control what situation you were born into, or the weather, or anything like that. So it's really powerful to get to a point where you realize those things that happen to me, they don't control how I react, they don't control how I feel, and they don't have to control who I become. This is true with people and events and anything. And if you can really truly believe that and know that, nothing can take away your constant joy anymore. So, the one thing I just wanted to note, a part of the first step, conflict resolution, would be to forgive anyone you haven't forgiven. Because forgiveness is also very important. And if you're holding on to grudges or anger, that actually makes you very unhappy. So, yeah, I think those are all the points I wanted to cover. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching my first video. Have a nice night.